Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Data Cloud Now. I'm currently in New York City at Advertising Week, where I'm now joined by Josh John, Senior Director, Product Strategy at Yahoo. Josh, looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Josh, Yahoo's media technology and business platforms connect hundreds of millions of people around the world to content they love. How has your data strategy evolved to keep pace with changing consumer behaviors and preferences across your diverse platforms?
Yeah. So Yahoo is obviously in a very unique and privileged position, being both the DSP and a publisher. We're one of the largest open web publishers in the world with multi-million users on a daily basis. That being said, our core publisher properties are Yahoo Sports, Yahoo Finance, and then we also have news as well. But the center of that is all of our user data. But that being said, what's really important to us is making sure that we are being very user-centric in terms of privacy and making sure that we're adhering to both regulation and compliance. So to kind of bring it all together, what we have is something called Yahoo ConnectID. That is our proprietary identity solution. In the United States, there's around 205 million logged in users, and that is really built to be privacy compliant in an advertising ecosystem. It doesn't leave our ecosystem. We do not share with partners, and what we do is we really rely on interoperability with partners like Snowflake to share that ID in a neutral environment to make sure that advertisers can target their users wherever they are.
Great to hear, Josh. Now let's dive into that technical component. Yahoo recently announced a significant integration with Snowflake Data Clean Rooms, allowing advertisers to onboard their data onto Yahoo DSP and leverage Yahoo ConnectID. Can you elaborate on how this integration might address the challenges of identity resolution and personalized targeting as we move towards an increasingly cookieless future?
Yeah, let's get into it. We are really excited about the partnership. The way that we kind of think about identity is really making sure that we can bring data into our ecosystem and, as I mentioned before, keep it really safe. And so the way that we wanted to work with Snowflake is to allow for advertisers who are using Snowflake Data Clean Rooms to easily and seamlessly bring their data into our DSP for targeting and then ultimately for measurement as well. And so the way that we're thinking about it is really just ConnectID now being interoperable with Yahoo Snowflake Data Clean Rooms. Really what the interesting aspect of this is we think it's going to be really future-proof for us. When we look at the environment and where we're going with signal loss, regardless of what Google Chrome does with opt-in or opt-out on cookies, if IP address goes away, non-addressable inventory is going to continue to grow. And so we want to make sure that we have an avenue for advertisers to use their own data in these addressable and non-addressable spaces, and that's where these interoperability partnerships are really valuable for us.
Great to hear, Josh. And from your seat, how has AI played a role in Yahoo's overall corporate strategy?
Yahoo's been around the block. We've been around for a while, and for AI, that's a really good thing. I think since the inception of the company, machine learning has been a core pillar for us. The way that we're kind of thinking about AI at a high level within the company is really threefold. One from an engineering standpoint, two with personalization, and lastly with advertising. So from an engineering standpoint, it's really going to be focused on finding efficiencies. How do we bring products quicker to market? How do we make sure that we're finding efficiencies in terms of our process and development timelines? From a personalization standpoint, that's where you're probably going to see the most generative AI. So if you're using Yahoo Fantasy, for example, whether that is the draft and the draft scores that you're getting, your weekly updates in your league, or your recommendations, those are elements of generative AI. No one is writing your weekly recap for you, right? And so that's something that we're able to tap into that technology and really scale it out for users to really drive a more personalized experience for them. And then from an advertising perspective, AI is kind of sprinkled all over the DSP. When we look at the DSP, we're really focused on performance, campaign management, optimizations, and more transparency. And so earlier this year, we actually released a product called Yahoo Blueprint, what we're calling our AI engine. Really what that's doing is it's enhancing our algorithm, it's driving better recommendations and audience selection, and also is getting into supply path optimization as well. On the flip side of that, we also have a non-addressable solution called Next Gen Solutions. And what that is actually an AI-based approach where we're able to take a panel of ConnectID known users and identify them in these unaddressable environments, right, in a completely privacy safe way. And all of that machine learning is driven by our AI components within the DSP.
Great to hear, very much a top-down approach. Now I want to dive into the history at Yahoo. To your point, a long and deep history in the digital space and has undergone significant changes over the years. How do you see Yahoo's role in the digital ecosystem evolving over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. We are really bullish on where we're at. I think we've made a number of strides over the last couple of years. Obviously, we're under new leadership, and it's been really great for us to kind of push forward with innovation within the space across everything that we're doing. But specifically in advertising, we're really focused on investing in proprietary solutions as well as partnering with partners like Snowflake to make sure that we can bring more interoperability to the ecosystem. From an identity standpoint is really where we're focused. We believe that you need to have a solution that solves for both addressable and non-addressable. And so what we really are bullish on is Yahoo ConnectID, next-gen solutions, and interoperable partnerships to make sure that advertisers have a really wide view of the ecosystem to target and measure against their audiences. That being said, there is not one single solution that's going to solve for everything. Anyone that tells you that, like, no. And so what we are really focused on is making sure as an industry, whether that's publishers, advertisers, DSPs, interoperable partners like yourselves are working together to explore, evaluate, and develop new solutions where we can kind of push the industry forward. And so we really believe our identity solution could be core to that.
Very much all in it together. Thank you, Josh. What areas of growth or new opportunities are you most excited as you look out on the future?
I love ad tech. And I like going to these types of events because you realize how much change happens
It's all
within
happening
our
here.
space. It's really a lot, right? And like every time you come here every year, there's something brand new that's a topic of conversation. And so we really want to make sure that we're kind of staying ahead of the change. But for me, what's been top of mind recently is really empowering advertisers. This ecosystem is vast. The Lumascape continually changes year after year. It's gotten bigger and bigger. And we want to make sure that we're still providing advertisers with the proper tools to really understand their media buys, where their dollars are going, and how they're actually going to market with these strategies. And so I would say that we're probably the most bullish on measurement, transparency, and then ultimately AI. From a measurement standpoint, making sure that you can work with an open ecosystem, bring in data that is relevant to the advertiser, not just for measuring outcomes, but also for us to be able to optimize towards outcomes that may be off-site. From a transparency standpoint, we really want to provide advertisers with a level of depth where they can get a better understanding of what's going on with their media, how are they buying it. What does their supply story look like? What is the financial transparency behind that? What are the partners that are involved in their buys? We want to be able to give that data to them, and that's where we think that Snowflake is a great opportunity to do that so. And then lastly, from an AI perspective, obviously so many things are going to change with AI. The workflow of the DSP is drastically going to change in the next 3 to 5 years. How that's going to end up, I'm sure there's a lot of discussion around that. But then in the short term, we're seeing a lot of positive improvements with things like algorithms, audience selections, development that we're really bullish on. So not a dull moment right now.
Great to hear. Thank you so much for joining us here today,
Yeah,
Josh.
appreciate it.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. I'll see you soon.